The United States Geological Survey has known for many years that Antarctica would be ravaged by the approach of this system. This is because Nibiru is on an elongated elliptical orbit relative to our southern hemisphere. So people living in this part of the world would see Nibiru first, and they shall also be the first to experience whatever Nibiru brings with it. And it's not bringing anything good. The Ronne ice shelf will likely break off the continent and drift into the Weddell Sea. This will cause enormous icebergs to drift toward New Zealand. As the ice reaches warmer waters, it will rapidly melt, causing a significant rise in sea
Good afternoon, everyone. Record snow in Montana, breaking the old record by 4 times. We're going to look through 20 cams, so with your own eyes, you can see how much snowfall there is. Western United States, Idaho-Montana border. Idaho from the skies, looking down on the peaks. Anything over 5,500 feet in this last storm was coated with snow. All the way down to Yosemite, clear up through British Columbia. Now Montana and Idaho under a winter weather advisory, along with the southern Cascade Mountains in Oregon. Look at the relief map where the snow is falling currently in Montana and Idaho. National map, snow going over that area. Whistler Peak, British Columbia is going to get hammered next. Blizzard warning out for parts of the Yukon. And the orange circles are where it snowed heavily above 5,500 feet. I missed the Cascade Range. It was too low, but everything else got the snows.
And the World Meteorological Organization provide no meaningful explanation for sudden drastic climate change. Ostracized scientists and whistleblowers attribute these Earth changes to Nibiru, said to be a brown dwarf star with 7 orbiting planets rapidly approaching our inner solar system. According to recent non-established reports, Dr. Ethan Trowbridge, a former USGS climatologist who supervised the geomagnetism program and the core sciences division of this agency, blames climate discrepancies on Nibiru's proximity to our planet. According to Trowbridge, Nibiru is no myth. It is real and it is here. The USGS has secretly monitored Nibiru's approach for some 3 decades now, conveniently covering up its existence and influence on our planet with a mountain of misinformation, like blaming climate shift on greenhouse gases. Dr. Trowbridge cites a leaked USGS memo as evidence of Nibiru's influence on Earth. This memo, showing here, demonstrates a significant deviation from established weather in the northeastern United States. If all information is accurate, this forecast depicts a dangerous rise in median temperatures along the eastern seaboard. Many noteworthy scholars have argued that even a worldwide 3-degree shift will destabilize the Earth's atmosphere and plunge this planet into another ice age with a resulting pole shift. Do you know who this man is? His name is Damir Zakharovich. He is a Russian astronomer and former scientific advisor to Vladimir Putin. Earlier this year, he divulged information about the dark star to Pravda, and now has to operate from the shadows for fear of being blacklisted. He recently indicated that the drastic changes that are occurring across the globe, and especially this year in the United States, depends on the movement of Planet X, which is consistently moving, and the changes here on Earth fluctuate with the movement of this planet in our solar system. He further explains that the planets around the brown dwarf orbit this dark star. The precise position of the planets and the system itself dictate how the Nibiru system impacts Earth at any given moment in time. As it grows close, changes will be.
Space. Is there a weather forecast for space? Well, that's what President Obama wants scientists to keep tabs on. The president issued an executive order today trying to get the science community prepared for solar storms that could disrupt us here on Earth.
Solar storms happen all the time. Scientists say that they're like 1 million nuclear bombs exploding at the same time. Yes, they're that big. The problem is, no one knows exactly when the effects of one of those storms could strike the Earth.
In Baldwin County, what's killing birds at the mouth of Weeks Bay? State wildlife officials are investigating the deaths of more than a dozen seagulls, brown pelicans, and great blue herons.
Professional wildlife photographer Cynthia Danaski has been taking pictures of birds here for years.
We've never seen anything like this.
It's very unusual. I don't normally see that down here.
Locals that fish here are not sure what's happening.
It's more than I've ever seen in the parking lot down here, so it's unusual.
It's pretty disturbing. Dozens of dead seagulls are found in a Portland park, and now wildlife officials are asking for help from the public.
It is an unusual request, but it's because 36 juvenile herring gulls have died there in recent weeks, with no explanation.
Hundreds of dead fish are washing up on the shore in Guilford. People who live in the area are asking us to come check this out, figure out what is going on here.
Patrick, one lady told me she saw a catfish wash ashore dead this morning. Collier County officials say beaches from Marco Island to Wiggins Pass were all littered with the fish carcasses.
We don't get stuff like this in Hollywood.
Even Naples residents like Joanne LeBaron were surprised to find hundreds of fish lying dead on the beach this morning.
I have never seen this many dead fish on the beach at all. So,
a pollutant in Dubuque and Jones County creeks has killed nearly 8,000 fish. But the Iowa Department of Natural Resources is still trying to figure out what that pollutant is.
Today alone, there's been 13 earthquakes. Challis, Idaho had a 1.8 at a depth of only 5 kilometers. There was also a 1.4 in the same location, or near the same location, 2.3 kilometers in depth. Also a 1.7, 5 kilometers in depth. A 1.4 that was by Whitehall, Montana, 4.2 kilometers in depth. A 0.6, now that was 32 kilometers southeast of Old Faithful, and there's an image of its location. And I wonder about the magnitude. Now this is Moose Creek, Idaho. There's the earthquake right there, just after 7 a.m. Mountain Time. I've been watching the magma coming in from the Snake River, and you can see here, those that follow me will understand the thickening of the lines is an indication that we have magma on the move. You know, they updated these monitors, and they're just junk. It's not like the old monitors will show the up and down wavy motion of the earthquakes. These don't do it, and they got another one marked right there. Here we have Grant. This is near Grant Village. Doesn't really show the earthquake. The line after is a little bit thicker. We got drum beats. Mary Lake, again, the thickening of the lines. This here is Denny Creek. Quick peek at Old Faithful. You can see that it's starting to go off. It's currently 9:28 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We're almost to the peak of a full moon, so we'll probably see more activity and more earthquakes.
In seismic and volcanic activity. Mount Sipple, one of Antarctica's largest active volcanoes, is certain to erupt, sending a plume of deadly ash into the atmosphere. This will be the start of a pole shift. Large earthquakes will ripple across the continent. Add to that multiple super eruptions. This will shake Antarctica to its very foundation. And this is just the beginning. What happens in Antarctica is merely a precursor for what will happen across the entire globe. The devastation will start there, then rapidly spread. Scientists who are aware and who know of this approaching system have indicated that those living in the southern hemisphere will be the first to witness its destruction, but that those who live in the northern hemisphere should be prepared for what's coming, as the geography of North America will be forever changed. The SOHO Imaging website on September the 16th is showing a massive object just below the ecliptic plane, which is shaped similar to a comet. Now, if we enlarge this object, you will notice that immediately behind this giant comet-like object is a trail of debris, meteors and asteroids, and then a cluster of planets and smaller objects following in a serpentine formation or a double helix formation, what some have called the string of pearls. Now, if this satellite image has indeed captured this complex of planets, or the Nemesis system, then the notion that it has entered our inner solar system, as Marshall Masters and Major Ed Dames and other Nibiru researchers are now claiming, then this could be very well true. Once the system crosses the ecliptic plane, its movement will be more rapid, and it will become more visible in both the daylight and the evening sky. On September 2nd, an incredible video capture of the blue Kachina was recorded in the evening sky. Take a look at these extraordinary images seen from a distance and then enlarged. This fits the description of the blue star as described by the Hopi tribe. Finally, I wanted to share this September 14th video capture by a skywatcher that actually considers himself to be a diehard skeptic of Planet X. He says that after viewing what he captured outside on video on a moonlight night, he has to admit that there is something out there that he cannot explain away. Furthermore, he says that the object appears to be moving slowly towards us. Now, obviously, what he has picked up cannot possibly be as close as between the Earth and the Moon. But what he has captured certainly resembles a planet. And if you look closely at the movement of the clouds in the background, you will notice that they pass in front of this very large entity. So folks, there are some very strange things appearing in the heavens, which we just cannot explain. Images of this incoming system are becoming more prevalent each passing day, and it's up to each of us to be more vigilant and observant in the days ahead. Whatever is happening now is an ominous sign, a warning of what is coming our way. These signs are given to us so that we may warn others of the dangers that lie ahead, so that we may gain the courage and the fortitude to prepare ourselves both mentally and physically for what lies in wait.
This generation is uniquely placed to change the course of history. As Secretary General Ban Ki-moon rightly pointed out, this is the first generation with the potential to end extreme poverty, and the last one able to act to avoid the worst effects of climate change. No community should be considered to be outside the span of this new agenda. Whatever your ethnicity, whatever your livelihood, whatever your lifestyle or location, all of you are inside the agenda. We need to inform everyone that these goals are the heart of a plan for the future of the world's people, as well as for the planet itself. peace and security, human rights and justice, and sustainable development brought together within this 2030 agenda.